Thanks, Charles. So we've heard about what is MDR, and if you haven't seen that, check out some of our other clips inside of the Blue Chip IT channel. But now we're going to address the organizational advantages of using MDR. On day one, if Sophos MDR is implemented inside of a customer site or inside of an install base, what are you going to see as the advantages coming straight on?
Sure, David. Look, the three key advantages and business outcomes we deliver with Sophos MDR is less risk, improved operational efficiency across the IT teams, and at a lower cost. So let me elaborate a little bit more. We talked about the challenge that we see in the market where advancement in cyber criminals and the sophistication and the volume are growing at a pace. Sophos MDR delivers 85% less incidents that require a customer to actually investigate because we do all that legwork for them.
So that's 85% less incidents that an IT team has to go into. That's hands-on keyboards, ladies and gentlemen, and investigate, right?
Absolutely.
I can use that time for an IT team in order to go out and improve business efficiencies elsewhere on the board, in order to do things that they didn't have time to, because now they don't have to worry about all of these little attacks or these little alerts that are coming on board into their system.
Correct. And David, like I said earlier, with our 12,000 customers, we see on average 31 billion alerts per day. And guess what our average response time for those customers using MDR is?
An hour.
Even better, 38 minutes. On average, Sophos customers who are leveraging our service today, it takes 1 minute to detect, 25 minutes to investigate, and another 12 minutes to remediate. And when you look at that in comparison to some of the other in-house built SOCs and an average time to remediation for them, you've got SOCs that are about 3.7, which is great, 3.7 hours, that is, which is a pretty high standard, but can obviously increase up to 30 hours. And so our investment is definitely been in our tools and our people to ensure we can deliver that service to reduce risk for organizations.
That's incredible, Charles. 38 minutes. It takes me longer to get down to the ground floor and to get a coffee in a North Sydney Monday morning. That's really wild. Now, guys, those are the business efficiencies as you're going to see when using Sophos MDR. Greater efficiency in IT teams, less time, hands-on keyboards in order to investigate, and therefore them needing to go out and do something else with their hard-earned time. Okay.
Well, David, let me interject there. So we've got our customers, because of that time that we're able to free up for them, we talk about a 2 times more efficiency with their IT team. Ultimately, organizations are not having to manage all those alerts and worry about security 24/7, and it frees up their IT teams to deliver the transformational and digital projects that are much more valuable to their organizations. You know, there's a reference you'll see up on the board from London University. Our Sophos Managing Detection service allowed their staff to focus on student satisfaction and outcomes to deliver more revenue for that organisation. That was London University, I think 20,000 employees and students that are covered by our service.
That's incredible, Charles. And that's what a university wants to do, right? They don't want to be protecting against cybersecurity threats and utilizing all this time in order to go out and protect. They want to be teaching their students, getting student satisfaction up so that they can gain more students and, of course, improve their business efficiencies. That sounds incredible, Charles. Look, that's about it for this time.
No, there's one more.
Oh,
there's one more, David. Yeah. We forgot to talk about lowering costs, or I like to term it cost optimization. So one of the things that we deliver, again, which is unique to other vendors on the market, is the integration of existing security tools and people, right? So again, if you've already made investments in some security platforms that you don't want to rip and replace, we're not telling you to rip and replace. We're simply saying, hey, let's integrate that into our service. Let's bring the telemetry and information into our service and help you understand the threats that are expanding into those threat vectors. Ultimately, for those who have not invested in a SOC, why invest in a SOC? And in people. People are expensive, as we talked about, and hard to come by. One of our customers based in South Australia has said Sophos, the equivalent of our service, delivers an equivalent of 6 full-time employee resources for less than the cost of one. So that's real value delivering outcomes for that customer.
6 times for less than the cost of one staff that they could hire.
Absolutely.
Charles, that sounds incredible. Now, you told me that Sophos MDR is compatible with all organizations, right? From the medium and the small all the way to the large and the enterprise. Tell me what kind of service tiers you're offering out there in order to be compatible with organizations across the board.
Sure, David. Look, Sophos Managed Detection and Response comes with 3 tiers. I'll start with the first one, Threat Advisor. So Threat Advisor is targeted at organizations that have already invested in a SOC or Security Operations Center. So Sophos, in this instance, they can leverage our 24/7 threat advisory type guidance. We will not remediate. The customer is there to remediate, but we can help them correlate and prioritize security events and incidents. But again, the customer does the remediation and response themselves. Secondly, MDR. MDR is our mid-tier service level, which ultimately summarized as a co-managed offering with the customer. So they've made some security investments, they can still deliver their own incident response, but they want scale with the day-to-day management of their security operations center, and that's us. And lastly, MDR Complete. That's our fully managed service, which ultimately includes full-scale incident response, root cause analysis should anything go wrong, with a dedicated incident response threat analyst. And there are 3 key tiers, David, that we can augment, again, with all the other security tools and everything else that you may want to leverage as part of our service.
Incredible. A heterogeneous environment with 3 service tiers that are extremely flexible in order to support your organization. In the case that you want to license Sophos MDR, it is extremely simple. Okay, all we need to know is the quantity of servers and the quantity of endpoints that you want to protect and cover. You choose one of the license tiers that you mentioned, right, Charles? And then you're good to go. There are some data integration packages that you can see on the screen right now that allow you in order to integrate with the telemetry of other vendors that you'll see around in the market space today. There is an add-on integration package that allow you in order to keep up to 12 months of data retention instead of the 90 days that that comes with Sophos MDR standard right now. And if you want an onboarding package, there is that as well. From day one, Sophos Professional Services will come in, take everything out of your hands and make sure everything is set up correctly, get you some training along the time frames of 30 days and 90 days to allow you to think like a SOC, essentially. And that's really about it. Choose the terms, 1, 2, or 3 years, and I think you're pretty much set to go. There are a few other services that Sophos does offer with this expert threat hunting team, okay? And that's Sophos Compromise assessments. Compromisation assessments are if you are an organization that feels like you have been breached, but you're not sure, you don't have that expertise in order to go out and find yourself. Hands on keyboard investigating, you don't know where to start and what to do. Sophos compromisation assessments will come in, investigate, and tell you what may have been breached and probably how they came in. That leads us to stage 2. If you have been compromised, if you have been breached, there is a malicious adversary inside of your environment right now, then that is extremely dangerous and needs to be acted upon. That's where Sophos Rapid Response comes in. Sophos Rapid Response will come in, investigate, remediate, and eliminate the threat for you. The whole service, all in one, and allow you to sleep safe at night. And if that wasn't enough, you do get Sophos MDR, Managed Detection Response, like we've been talking about, for 45 days after that, in order to have your back and make sure no one comes back in after you're basically set. Look, if you want to hear more about Sophos MDR, Managed Detection Response, contact a Sophos account manager or account executive, or just click on the link in the video description to hear more.